Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
The Cincinnati Bengals improved to 4-5, beating the Las Vegas Raiders, and I almost said Oakland, beating them 41-24. Defense only giving up 17 points. The defense continues to respond against bad teams. The Bengals don't have a bad team coming up this Thursday. As we prepare for that, we'll look at the reason and the hope for the rest of the year on Bengals On The Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry, and it's Joe Burrow. And I'll be honest with you, if the Bengals would have pulled off that victory against the Ravens earlier in the year, if they'd have pulled off that victory versus the Chiefs on 4th and 16 earlier in the year, Burrow walked off the field both of those instances winning. Had they have won those games, he'd probably be the MVP frontrunner right now. And the way he played against the Raiders, well, again, a bad team, but you got to beat the bad teams in front of you. The way he played gave us signs that he is following the same development and progression he has every year that he's been healthy into November, other than last year's wrist injury. When he gets to November, when he gets to December, he's usually playing at LSU Joe Burrow levels, especially in the pocket. And we started this season, our first film review was how poor Burrow looked in the pocket week 1 and how it affected everything he did. And the reason I do that, and I think sometimes fans don't like that, don't like criticizing the quarterback, right? Because we love Joe Burrow and he's great and we know that, but it doesn't mean he's perfect all the time. And you could even see with his reaction during the game and after the game, what is there to be happy about? After a game, he throws 5 touchdowns. It's because he strives for perfection. I'm sure he was very critical of his performances early in the year. And the reason we point them out is to say, hey, these are the things to look out for when he is back, when Joe Burrow is back to LSU Joe Burrow. You won't have an issue with these anymore, and he'll be doing this. And that's what we're going to watch today, as the play calling was but Burrow made it happen against the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, early in the game, first drive, 3rd down. The Bengals here with Jamar Chase in motion, which they had to do. The Raiders knew they were going to him, and the Raiders knew they were going to keep a safety over there every single time and keep coverage over there and bring linebackers over. So the Bengals moved him around a ton, which is what you're supposed to do, right? So this play isn't going to Jamar. I just wanted to start with that because we got motion before the snap here. A little bit of play action, a little fake to Chase Brown right here. And we're going to look as one guy goes up and the other guy's going to go basically a 2-man route on the left side here for the Bengals. And Burrow's going to look that way, instantly pressure in his face. And this is something I will say, well, it's not exactly a 2-man route here because we got this guy going this way and we have a guy underneath. They'll give you 3 options on one side and basically pick high, medium, low a ton. And it works for Burrow because he sees the field so well. But when you're getting pressured this quickly, Burrow's got to make something happen. So the protection wasn't there and he doesn't get to set his feet. He realizes Chase Brown should be the open guy, check down underneath, and flips it out to him. This is, when you get this on the first drive, those are the games where I'm like, man, Burrow's going to have a big game. Remember the 525 yards game against the Ravens and he makes like 2 guys miss. I think it was the first 3rd down of that drive or that game. And I thought, oh, he's feeling himself today. This is one of them, as we'll watch and see what happens here. But as Max Crosby just goes inside and nobody touches him at all. I don't know what's going on there on the protection. We'll worry about it on the next angle. But then Burrow is looking left the whole way here. As I said, they got 3 options to the left. Once he sees it, breaks out of there. He really doesn't even get a chance to set his feet. Watch it again, full speed. I'll let it go full speed and we'll slow it down when we get the other angle. Watch his footwork. So he's going left the whole way. Bang. I think Max has his left arm too, and he still gets that ball off. Crosby turns to say something, because that is a hell of a play for your quarterback. Now let's watch the protection first here. You've got Gesicki. You've got Amarius Mims. How you still end up allowing this inside to Max Crosby is pretty crazy. So let's watch it here as Crosby's getting inside more and more and more and more. And then right at the snap, we're just going a single punch from Amarius Mims. That seems weird to me. And then, I should be getting him. Yeah, you should be. All right, now eyes back on Burrow as he's just going to flip this thing while getting his arm pulled. See if I can stop it at the right frame here. Right there. Off balance. Feet not set. Still gets it out to convert on third down. Nice play, Joe Burrow. And this is going to be the theme of the game. 4th down and 3. Bengals going forward at the 20. Zach Taylor being aggressive. I don't even think it's aggressive. This is normal in today's NFL. You should be going for this. You expect to put up points. You expect to get the right options out there and let Burrow pick them and get you into the right spot. And this is what they do rather than last time when we complained about the swing pass to Jamar out of the backfield where you need Yoshi to get the block. You don't give Burrow any options on that play. On this play, he's got multiple options. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys going out, and then probably Chase Brown for the check down. So watch here as Burrow looks left first. And we've got Jamar getting clamped up right there. They wanted to go one-on-one with Jamar. This guy's underneath completely. Like, hey, I'm not going to get beat underneath because I got a safety over top, and I got a linebacker with eyes and leaning towards the middle in case. So the play isn't here. If they expected a one-on-one situation there, it's not there. Burrow says, okay, we got man coverage across, and it's not. But he usually runs when he gets that situation. We're basically saying they're playing man on Jamar with extra help and then zone everywhere else. But because Burrow's looking left, he's thinking, man, I can run on this like he did for the long touchdown against the Giants. And as he steps up, I think he realizes, oh, it's not man. And if I can space this guy out, I can hit this window right here to Tanner Hudson. And he does. You'll see on the end zone angle facing him, the way he looks and looks again, gets that linebacker just to open up a little bit and then throws a dart between the two to Hudson. So it's a really good job recognizing the coverage right away, saying, all right, my guy's not open. So watch as he takes a snap. Turbo, set up. Right, that's Burrow's call. Looks back. Not there. Let me escape up. Kept his eyes the whole way, even though there's no other option. Maybe Jamar's going to break off that guy and he is going to throw it. But otherwise, watch how he manipulates this linebacker that's going to be on the left side. I think it's number 5, Diablo. See if we can get it where Burrow's as he steps up in the pocket. All right, he's looking left. You see here? Eyes are looking this way because we need this guy just to go out a little bit more to make this window easier to throw to. If your eyes are here instead, like I'm going to throw here, this is going to get squeezed and you're going to be forced to run the ball as Burrow, and he'd probably pick it up. So he's probably got both options there if he wants to. But the fact that he keeps his eyes left and then hits it. So let's let it play full speed. Watch his eyes. Oh, yeah. Just that one more look to the left keeps that window open, and then he throws it in. Now we got another one. 3 plays of going off script. Burrow in the pocket, looking excellent, going off script, keeping his cool, keeping his composure, keeping his passing posture up. No exaggerated movements that get him in trouble in the pocket. But now the third one on the opening drive. He's going to look left early here. We've run this before. They'll do a like almost like a hook comeback route, jerk route, and then they'll have a corner route behind it. The idea, and you probably can't see this because of the orange end zone, so let me go to yellow here. You're trying to get these guys to jump in under here and then have a one-on-one situation with Jamar Chase in the back corner where you can just lay it up and give it to him. Because it's so quick here, Burrow's like, yep, that's not it. I'm not taking it. I'm out of there. Watch how quickly, I need to point out Chase Brown here, because Chase Brown gets up in the middle and he's going to hook right there to be the check down. And then watch how quick he realizes and takes off to the far corner and out races everyone when he sees that Joe Burrow's on the move. Right there, they're even right now. And Chase Brown's going to say, I'm out of there completely. And I can outrun these guys to the open space. And Burrow's going to see him and feel him. Touchdown. So again, it's not open, or he doesn't like the throw. He doesn't like the situation they end up in post-snap. And he's going to say, okay, let me roll to the right here, even though I don't have many options to the right here at all this time. And Chase Brown's going to do his best to outrun everyone and keep his feet in, which is a very nice grab for a running back. Nice playoff script for a running back, to be honest. So this is when you'll hear me say off script. Burrow went off script. He went off script. And that's because you don't, as a play caller and play designer, you're not saying, all right, Burrow, you're going to see this, and run and try and make something happen. No, that's never the play call. It's you got 1, 2, 3. And then if you got to run, you got to run or throw it away. But to these plays that all happen, all three of these that I've shown so far, are Burrow creating outside of structure. Once the play is exhausted and the options did not work, you play rock, paper, scissors, and sometimes you throw scissors and the defense throws rock. You need your quarterback to bail you out a little bit. And Burrow does a lot, and he is special in this area. And when he's on, it takes him a while to get here, though. For whatever reason, it takes him the midpoint of every season before you see this, and you're like, there he is. It's when you're pulling back the skin on Peter Pan's face. There you are, Peter, and it's Joe Burrow. There you are, Joe Burrow. There's LSU Burrow. He's going to drop back again here. Burrow's going to hit the top of his drop. And he's going to say, I need to step up just a little bit. Let me escape to the left. He remains a passer the whole way, throwing across his body, going to the left. That's difficult. I want to go back and see the coverage and show how this ended up, because you're going to see Burrow says when we get to the end zone angle, Burrow's going to say something to Mike Gesicki. And I think he's telling him what to run. And this is a wheel route. As you got these guys going this way, man coverage with two deep safeties by the Raiders. You're going to hope to pull those safeties that way and have one-on-one with Mike Gesicki. And this corner, this DB, I actually don't know if it's a safety or a corner. So this defensive back, we'll call him. As Burrow's got to break the pocket and buy time here, he lays this ball nicely. I mean, Gesicki is plucking this off the guy's head. It's just that he's such a lanky goon that this foot steps out of bounds on accident. To me, this is still a great play by Joe Burrow. You see him saying to Gesicki right there. You saw him talking to him. And let's watch the protection up front as he's checking to it, making sure everyone knows, yeah, we definitely got man here. Gets to the top of his drop. I mean, I think you could have hit Yoshi here. This is my only criticism of when I saw this originally, because some of these are, well, Taylor, you didn't call a great play. This one did not work. I mean, we've got a bit of a Yoshi avoidance here by Joe Burrow, and that's supposed to be an arrow. We got a little bit of Yoshi avoidance by Burrow lately. I don't know why, but he's really stopped going to him, even though we did get a couple of deep shots in this game. The safety over here is I don't know if he's going to get there. You've got that inside angle. You could lay this ball in a lot of areas, but if you keep it more to this side, I don't think that safety is going to come across from this side over here and get on top of Yoshi. So I think you've got the advantage. If you want to let this rip, I think you can. But instead, he hits his back foot, remaining a passer. If you go back to those original episodes from the beginning of the year, he was dropping it, his knees were buckling, and he was running with the ball. Here, he's still upright. That ball is still at a chest position because he's going to pick it up. So he's going to pick it up, bring it to his back shoulder, let it loose. And you got to remain a passer. And he's doing that. So these are good things. One more look at it, and we'll see more of the protection. Was the protection actually poor? How did Cody Ford do on this play? I don't think it was poor. I think the timing goes off. The alarm kind of goes off in your head of, all right, that's probably all the time I've got here. They're starting to get chaos. Max Crosby's starting to get a little too close for comfort. Let me get out of there. And hey, Max is doing too much the whole game. Too much. I like him. I think he's a great player. And part of it is his motor, and he doesn't stop, and he affects the quarterback so much because he touches them every single play. But as a quarterback, I would hate that. Stop touching me. Stop putting your hands on me. Stop pushing me to the ground every time I throw the ball. All right, Chase Brown here comes from the outside and goes to the backfield. You do this because you want to see if it's man or zone. So right away, because zero is out here on top of Chase Brown and then walks over and goes out over top of Jamar Chase, we know that it is zone coverage. So Burrow, I think, based on what he's expecting here, which is a cover two completely by the Raiders. You got the two deep safeties. You've got the middle linebacker going backwards and opening towards the three receiver side. 1, 2, 3, right? So he's opening his hips and going that way. Your options, if you want to work away from it, I think you have, I want to go with a different color. I think you have a corner route from Jamar Chase, But are these guys going to squeeze it, right? I would expect the safety to squeeze it. I would expect this boundary corner to squeeze it. So that really leaves you with the only other option would be the flare by Chase Brown. And I don't think he wants that. I think he thinks if I can buy time, I can manipulate these linebackers in zone, I can make something happen. And he does. And he's correct. As you can see, something looks weird, right? If you were to say, what looks weird on this defense? You got a guy here, you got a guy here, you got a guy here. You got a guy here, kind of in no man's land. They only rushed 3, and they dropped the defensive tackle into coverage. So Burrow stepping up kind of froze this guy in the middle of the field and allowed Yoshi, you'll see it on the end zone angle, allowed Yoshi to find that window and Burrow to get into it and kind of flip it into him. And this is off script. I think you could have thrown this. So let me go back a second here. I think you could have thrown this to Jamar if you wanted to. Like if you were Josh Allen with a cannon. I think Josh throws this, no doubt. The cannon arm quarterbacks let this rip and just say, you know what? I'm just going to fire this into Jamar Chase. And I don't think the defenders can get there on time because I'm going to throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball at him. But Burrow's like, I can buy more time. They're going to slant towards Jamar anyways. They're going to slide that way. They're going to start drifting that way. I'll buy some time and I'll create and go to the backside here. So watch as his eyes left the whole way, right? And now as he looks forward, he's climbing that pocket right away. Let's see if I can get it back one more click here. I want to see right when he starts climbing the pocket. Yeah, there we go. So as he starts climbing the pocket, look how this guy is. He starts buckling which way? This way. I'm assuming Burrow's eyes are this way. Let's see if we can see on the end zone angle. His eyes are that way. And all that really does is open up a giant window for Yoshi to run through right here. So that's Burrow being his manipulative self in a good way. Diving for that touchdown. All Yosivas does is catch touchdown somehow. And we're a little out of structure there. I wouldn't say that's completely out of structure, but I think it's enough. I think we're using the pocket. I think we're using our eyes to manipulate the defense for sure. Oh, I don't know if we will get it. Yes, the eyes are that way. I thought we'd be behind the goalpost. But clearly his eyes are this way, and he knows where he's throwing this ball. He knows he's throwing it that way. We're just trying to get Matthew Butler. No, that's Adam Butler, isn't it? We're trying to get Adam Butler out of there. They have 2 Butlers at defensive tackle, 91 and 69. And he comes right back. I mean, that's that no look. That's that no look. Let's let it play fully. Woo! Yoshi gets around the linebacker and touchdown. Joe Burrow's dealing. That's the first half. Yeah, this is the start of the third half or third quarter now. Sorry, I'm fumbling my words so much today. I'm out of it. But we've got a post, dig, backside. I want to say this is an out route here. They run this a ton. And then they'll have a check down over the middle of the field. And this is I want to say it's a third down play. If I remember correctly, let's let it play. It'll jog my memory once I see the play go. But Burrow's got to get away. He's going to end up running for it. This wasn't the third down. This is early. This is the start of that drive. That no play I'm thinking of. That's not it. This is on Chase Brown here, not getting a good block. I don't know where he would have went with this ball. It always felt like whenever they run this, I'm not sure. I think this Chiefs game, they ran this. Definitely when we did the Yoshi breakdown, we talked about how those 2 guys on the right side were both ran the post rather than the one doing a dig. But let's watch Chase Brown here. And I didn't clip the play where Travion Williams absolutely blows the sack and gets run over. But with Zach Moss potentially out for the year, Chase Brown getting the load of carries because he's the only good running back they have. He's got to be better in pass protection. And then his issue is not the mentals. He gets to his landmark. Where Travion, I worry about his mentals, his size, his strength, and that he doesn't play often. With Chase Brown, it's just that he drops his eyes. Like, you're in fine position here. He's going to try and cut him, I guess, or hit him in the thigh pads. But when you drop your eyes, it's just so hard to land on your target, especially if the guy is going to make a move. And Robert Spillane will, and he's a good blitzer. But Burrow breaks off of it, stays to the right, and look at him. He's still a passer, upright. This is exactly 1 year ago from that 49ers game. Remember that play where he's stiff-arming Joey Bosa and spinning out and then going to the right and hits T. Higgins? Like, these are the posture plays. These are the breaking the pocket plays. This is the off script stuff that you need from Burrow to elevate the offense. And he did in this game. And if it's a sign of things to come, as it has been in 2021, in 2022, and you're going to say the defenses were much better then. Statistically, they were not. I know we remember them being better because they made timely plays in 21 and 22. But statistically, they were not any better than what the Bengals are right now. A lot of bad defenses out there. I know it feels like our defense is bad, and I know they don't have enough talent, but Jordan Battle, Dex, or DJ Turner, Cam Taylor-Britt, they can all play better and help the secondary. Both rookie defensive tackles are playing well for what they are. Miles Murphy just had his best day. Joseph Osai's had 2 to maybe 3 strong days in a row now. You do have some help here, and let's hope they make a trade. All right. Down to the goal line now. Burrow in shotgun. We've got Mike Gesicki out wide. Jamar Chase in the slot. I like that combo. I like those guys next to each other. Let's look left, huh? You don't end up with much here because Chase is going to run this way, and we're going to release Gesicki and hopefully get him over the middle. There's nothing there. Easily, you can tell. If I'm just looking at this and saying, okay, I've got 2 men running a route on this side, and I have how many defenders with eyes that way? Thinking about it, sure, there's a big gap and a window between them. Maybe we can just sit a guy down, but they're in the windows. They're in your passing lanes. And there's 4 of them over there. So, all right, fine. Play doesn't work. Bad call, Zach Taylor. Let's move it. And Burrow's going to roll to his right. And this time it's not Chase Brown that gets out there. It's Drew Sample coming on the backside with the touchdown. And it's a very weird situation because why? Let's look at the protection. This is right after they tried to throw the ball to Amarius Mims, and Mims walked off the field. Not exactly sure why. I thought, is it a rule that if you're eligible, you can't go back to tackle? No, I don't remember ever hearing that. But this is Devin Cochran, our first look at 76. Georgia Tech. I think he transferred and went to Georgia Tech. So much for my outline. Devin Cochran's in at right tackle. So the Bengals are going to say, all right, Drew Sample, you help him, and Chase Brown, you help too. We're going to put them all that way, and we're going to slide the rest of the line this way. You guys help him with Max Crosby. Don't let him kill this play. And what happens here, because you're helping out so much on the right side, you're going to see the whole line end up going slanted to the left. Like if there's an escape hatch, an escape route, where is it? It's actually to the right. It's actually to those guys. And good job by Sample. Just flipped his eyes around. I was nervous. Like even watching the film, I'm like, oh, is he going to get his head around? Even though I know he's getting the ball. But because Chase Brown caught this one earlier, you're getting all these defenders. They are trying to flow to Chase Brown because that dude is fast and Burrow's looking for him, just like he did on the first drive. Sample hits the brakes. Not sure he's ever hitting the gas, but he hits the brakes. And Burrow gets hit out of bounds. Good job, Drew Sample. Devin Cochran, 76, Devin Cochran. Celebrate with Drew Sample. I'm not sure how often you'll be out there. Not that you look good on this play. You're a stiff boy, but you're big, and you did your job. We'll take it. Watch Burrow over here get pushed by Max Crosby again. Stop touching my quarterback. All right, we just checked something at the top of the screen. We have Jamar Chase, Andre Osivas, Trenton Irwin, and Mike Gesicki is going to be our star of this one, the recipient of this play. This is the 4th touchdown of the game. And we're running out corner, I'm assuming, by the receivers to the right. And we're running corner curl with Chase Brown going out. So very similar concepts here, how we're stressing the defense. We are hoping to get eyes down this way onto the curl and we can get the corner route. But when Burrow's got to escape already because we got Max Crosby looping back inside, well, got to make something happen, Burrow. But he doesn't want what's on the right side, I don't think, here. I think he wants to come back to the left. So he does. He circles around the entire pocket. And there is Mike Gesicki. Let it rip. Touchdown. I think this pocket movement is special. And there's going to be we get some other fans watching the show once in a while, and I appreciate that. But sometimes they leave the comments like, Lamar does this every week. Fine. Lamar is a freak, all right? But Burrow does this once he hits this stage in the season. And if you don't think it's impressive, I don't know what to tell you. You're not watching enough quarterbacks. So here comes the stunt here. They went D-tackle this way, Max Crosby this way across the face of Alex Kappa. Burrow sees it right away. I love the way he hits the brakes here. He could have went outside and Butler was going to be on it. Butler knows like, hey, Crosby's going to get that attention. Get on him. Go to the outside. Instead, Burrow hits this. And as this defensive tackle is going this way, if you work against him, it helps Ted Karras out and you can climb up there. You got this. I mean, you got to be able to feel this. It seems like you've got time while I'm pausing it, but you really don't. You've got to feel this. I'm going to let it play full speed here. And Burrow does it really well. Never does he really ever turn into a runner. His movements aren't exaggerated and labored. He can move freely and smoothly and remain a passer and get back to his point, your launch point right there, and make a nice throw on the run again. Joe Burrow was lighting it up off script. You're never going to block Max Crosby for the entire game. He's going to get his pressures. But when he does, when you got a quarterback that can move and then get back, it's great. And how about Mike Gesicki with his 2-touchdown day, turning into wide receiver number 2 for the Bengals while they're having issues with T. Higgins and Jermaine Burton. This time we've got protection. Do you see it already? I'm trying to get my right color. Oh no! Damn, Jamar's open. That's the only thing sometimes when we get these off-script plays is I'm always thinking downfield, hunt downfield. Instead, we take the check down. I know. Do we want to go back and see what happened? Here we go. All right, keep an eye on Jamar up at the top of the screen. One of the few times we're really not going to end up with a one-on-one or with a safety over the top because the safety was supposed to go this way. It's a cover 2. But with Tanner Hudson angling in this way, as soon as you see this safety bite down, this should be triggered and this should be a 60-yard touchdown at least, 65-yard touchdown. Bang, ball should be out. Instead, we got Burrow breaking the pocket a little bit too soon and flipping it down to Drew Sample. So this is one of the negatives because what could have been a big play ends up still being a conversion on 3rd down. So we'll take that. So let's watch the protection up front and let's see why Burrow got spooked a little bit on this one. Because we don't get too many options. You know, they send so much coverage towards Jamar that when they don't, you kind of almost feel like they still do. And his eyes are there. And the pocket's there, right? They picked up Max. Max has been giving him so many issues that I think his knees buckled a little bit here and he got out of there. And instead resets himself because he doesn't go too far and flips it to Drew Sample. So credit there for still remaining composed, but the protection was there. This should have been a big play. And I described this as Burrow throwing through a keyhole, throwing a dart. You see how he created that hole, that lane, and then just flipped it as Crosby's reaching around. Still credit. So what else is new? Joe Burrow playing hero ball, going off script, playing outside of structure, and making things happen for this Bengals offense. And doing it without your left tackle one, without right tackle one, without, right tackle one, Trent Brown. If he was still healthy, he would have played left tackle. So I think that counts. And he was week 1 starter. So was Zach Moss. You don't have Zach Moss out there. You don't have T. Higgins out there. You lose Eric All in the middle of this game. You lose Jermaine Burton during the week. And he still puts up a big game. We got Lamar versus Joe Burrow on Thursday night. So right around, as soon as this comes out Tuesday, 2 days for that. Which reminds me that we'll have a Jake and Joe postgame show presented by First Star Logistics. We're giving away a couple neon Bengals wall clocks. And that'll be after the Thursday night game. So stay up with us, depending on if we want to rage or celebrate. Man, because if they win that one and move to 5-5, they've been 5-4 at this point every year, 2021, 2022, 2023. This year, they're 4-5, and they've dropped some games they could have won. They could have beat the Chiefs, the Ravens. They could have beaten the Commanders. They got one stop at any point during the game. Maybe if they had more tape on Washington, right? Because they don't seem as formidable the last few weeks. But, if they get to 5-5, you're in great shape. With the teams that are ahead of you still play the Steelers twice. They're that would basically be a wild card. I think they'll be a wild card. I don't think they're going to win the AFC North. But 2 against them. You have the Broncos, and you still have the Chargers. It's all in front of you. You take care of those teams. You take care of the Broncos and Chargers, regardless of what happens on Thursday night. You got a good chance still. But this game, I was looking it up on the New York Times predictor, their playoff machine, 54%, or is it 56? Either way, but you got a 30% difference. 54% chance of making the playoffs if you beat Baltimore, which is going to be a tough task. 26% chance if you lose to Baltimore. There's a lot on the line for that game. But I still think they can climb out if they don't get it. But how many times can you keep climbing out? You eventually have to beat a good team. Doesn't matter if they get in the playoffs, if they do so without beating a good team the whole time. No, because then you're going to get rolled in the playoffs. More than likely, maybe. Tough game coming up Thursday night. Join us. Postgame. Maybe you win something. Let's have a good time. Joe Burrow starts his MVP campaign. May have started this week. Starts officially on national television this Thursday night. Let's see how he plays against Baltimore, because they could not stop them in Cincinnati. And if that's the case again, well, then I like their chances. This has been Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. Till next time, Buddha.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.